All right, so let's move to an inspiring session. So we were thinking maybe of having a yoga session all together, but not everybody can touch his feet with his nose, right? So no, forget yoga. So instead of that, we're going to travel in time and go back to 92. Because in 92, I will think that he created the same enthusiasm than the one we lived in 98, or even this summer, World Cup, Football World Cup. So I think the same enthusiasm. Back in Albertville, 92, we are going to have an inspiring session with the first French Olympic champion of freestyle ski. Who does freestyle ski in the room? Good. So the master is coming. Please welcome the unique Edgar Grospiron.
Thank you.
It's of course a great pleasure and an honor to have you with us this afternoon. Let's go back to 92 if you want to this race. Let's watch the race first.
Il avait des patinettes. Son père l'apprenait à glisser et Edgar ne parlait pas, mais il riait. Il riait, il avait de la neige, il se prenait des boîtes, il tombait, il en avait de partout, mais il se relevait.
J'ai vu un gamin qui avait un engagement total. Dans les bosses, il s'engageait totalement. Il tombait souvent, c'est-à-dire parce qu'il lui manquait quand même un petit bagage technique, mais il n'avait pas peur de s'engager totalement à la limite de ses capacités. Et puis surtout, c'était la notion de plaisir qu'il a retirée. Et cette notion de plaisir, c'était comme un soleil là, au milieu de la piste. Je me suis dit, ce jeune, là, il est assez extraordinaire en termes de potentiel.
Il n'y a pas la plus haute marge du podium.
Je sais pas, j'ai pas envisagé ça.
Edgar est en pleine concentration en haut du podium, la foule se met à hurler. Oh là là.
Il faut savoir que 3 ans avant, c'est Jean-Claude Killy qui a annoncé que les Jeux seraient réussis si les Français faisaient des médailles.
C'est vrai de tous les Jeux Olympiques, été, hiver. L'organisateur, pour que sa réussite soit totale, dépend pratiquement totalement des résultats de son équipe nationale.
Et donc, je l'ai pris pour moi, en fait. Je l'ai pris comme un challenge. Quand j'ai eu l'occasion de voir Jean-Claude Killy 1 an avant, je suis allé le voir, je lui ai dit « T'inquiète, je vais gagner ».
Très bien, ça fait une médaille d'or, mais encore fallait-il la chercher. Et quand il a dit « Non, non, je serai champion olympique, Jean-Claude, ne souris pas ». C'est comme ça. C'est ce qui fait un peu le champion aussi, c'est-à-dire toute la fragilité devant l'ampleur de la tâche, c'est-à-dire courir des Jeux Olympiques, mais aussi la dureté, l'égoïsme, le sûr de soi du champion, qui est pratiquement obligatoire. Il avait tout ça, lui. Et puis en plus, il voulait être champion olympique. Des fois, il y en a qui le veulent plus que d'autres.
Mesdames et messieurs, un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour Edgar Grospiron.
Merci. Thank you.
Just one. C'est vrai que vous nous avez fait vibrer. Just one question before you start your presentation. What feeling do you have seeing this race again?
Right
I
now,
have
at the
goosebumps.
moment.
How about you?
Yeah, it's still very emotional for me because it moves a lot of things. When you work to be ready at the right day, at the right moment, it's a great peak of adrenaline. So then you ski, and then all this adrenaline is liberated, and it's so good. It's so good after.
It looks easy, but in reality, it's not. It's a lot of work. The stage is all yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. I first want to thank Patrice. I don't know where he is, and also Melanie and Miriam who invited me here to speak to you. It's a great honor. So thank you very much. And I know Patrice is a fantastic fan of mountaineering. He loves the mountain much more than I do, because above a certain altitude, I'm scared about the mountain. He's not. So thanks very much. The second thing that I would like to say is that I would like to apologize because we're here to talk about innovation. When we talk about innovation, we talk about the future, more about the future than the past. And I really can't say anything about the future. I don't know what's going to be within a year, 2, 3, 5, 10. The only thing that I know about future is that it's something that happened in the present. That it's every day that we prepare what's going to happen tomorrow and the day after. So it's the only thing that I've learned from sport. I learned it by experience, and I also learned it because I was always watching my opponents. Sometimes those opponents were my friends in the French ski team, and as I observed them a lot, I could see that some of them were very enthusiastic about their future. They dream about a better future, they dream about winning, they dreamed about having the best results they can possibly have. I saw other guys who were not dreaming at all. They were about anxious about future, and they were scared, and it was not the same dynamic. I also saw some people who were just following the waves, following the dynamic. They were waiting to take before to take decisions. They were waiting that the leaders take decisions, and then they were following. In fact, all those kind of behaviors create different futures, create different careers, create different results. What I want to say by that is I want to explain it through two stories that really happened to me. One of them, you almost see it, but I want to go further. You almost see it in the movie. It's when 3 years prior to the games, I said to a journalist, and then I talked in the movie, I said also that to Jean-Claude Killy, who was the head of the organizing committee of the Olympic Games. I said, don't worry, I will win the games. Well, when I say that for the first time, I said it to a journalist who came to me and asked me that difficult question. I won't say a stupid question, okay, but this difficult question. And he told me, Edgar, now you're 19, you just got your first title of world champion. Within 3 years, the Olympic Games will be hosted in France. It's your home country, and we have just learned that your discipline of skiing, freestyle skiing, will be an official discipline at the Olympic Games. The whole crowd of France will be behind you. This will be a very, very strong pressure for you, probably a very, very strong pressure. Ain't you scared? And I thought that was kind of stupid at the beginning. It was not such stupid. I thought it was kind of stupid because if I was scared about that fantastic opportunity, then I would think that I won't be able to do the job in order to create the condition to be able to win that competition. I was not scared about that. And I told you, no, I'm not scared. I'm going to win the competition. Don't worry. And he was so worried that he asked me another question, as much stupid as the first one. He asked me, Edgar, how will you do that? And I really found that this one was stupid because I had no answer to this one. So probably I was stupid not to be able to answer, maybe. But the thing was that, to me, it was impossible to know how I will be able to win that competition. And I also knew at the time that it's a bit of eccentric or could be a bit arrogant to say, I'm going to win the competition. But to me, it was not neither eccentric nor arrogant. It was just a matter of audacity. And it was just a matter of audacity because I really believe that to win the games, you need to have that audacity. Because it's very simple. What happens between where I was 3 years prior to the games and the games, you have to build during 3 years the path in order to be in a position to win. I was absolutely incapable, unable to win, not to win, but really unable to secure that victory. Really unable to, because I'm not a prophet. It's just that I knew that I was able every day to find the solutions. And I don't say the right solutions. I just say that I was able every day to find the solution in order to step by step progress, improve towards that dream. And for sure, 3 years prior to the games, I really didn't know what kind of improvement, what kind of steps I will find tomorrow or the week after tomorrow or the months after or the year after. Because it's a changing world and it's always different. There are so many situations to manage, so many difficulties to deal with, so many obstacles also to find solution to. So that was absolutely impossible to answer to that question. So the only answer that I could say was, you ask me how I will win the game. I don't know, but I will do it. I'm not sure, but I will do it. And he wrote in the paper, in his article, that I was some kind of petit branleur, which say, let's say, arrogant boy. Let's say arrogant boy. And like most of the French sportsmen, for sure, kind of arrogant. We say we're going to win, then we lose, then it's not very, we are not very successful in France about that. But anyway, the first thing that I had to do was to measure, evaluate the risk that I was taking by saying I'm going to win. And the risk was, at the beginning, it was quite risky. Just because you say you're going to win, if you lose, what happens? What happens? People will think that I'm just a typical French sportsman, un petit branleur. And that was exactly the case I was at school. So not a big deal for me to, to face. Except that I did not really want to be in the same situation in skiing than I was at school. But I was used to deal with that kind of situation at school. A stupid sportsman. So that was the risk. But there, it's not the risk to be just a stupid Frenchman. It's just to be an Olympic-level stupid Frenchman. So that's the best. You see, really the best of all. But anyway, that's a risk. So then I had to evaluate the consequences of that risk. And I also had to evaluate, there was no much consequences, I just said. Then I had to prepare the way I will answer if that journalist come back after the Olympic Games, you lose, okay? Say you lose, you're a loser. Then what do you have to say? Huh? I was right. You were arrogant. And the only answer that came to me at the time, when I tried to deal with the consequences, the bad consequences of a loss, was that my answer would have been, I have to translate it from French to English. Attends, je vais le faire en français. I'll first do it in French, then I will do it in English because it's hard for me là. Vous ne pouvez pas me reprocher de ne pas y avoir cru. So you can't, how can I say that? Yeah, you can't say that I didn't believe in it. Yeah, you can't blame me because I did not believe in it. And I really believe that I was able not to win, but to do the job every day in order to create the condition to be the guy, the strongest guy in the starting gates. And that's the job. That's exactly the job. Is that a matter of innovation? Not much. But it's a matter of vision. It's a matter of dream. It's a matter of creating a future in which you really want to project yourself, an enthusiastic future in which you want to project yourself. And that was really enthusiastic. And it helped me every day to be enthusiastic at skiing in those fucking moguls. You see? It's not the moguls that was the problem. It was always the way I was taking things. I was thinking the moguls, always. You can either see the moguls as a problem or you can see the moguls as an opportunity. And that's what I've learned also, and that's the second story I want to tell you. It's that I learned during 3 years. Every moguls that I ski, maybe most of the moguls, not every, but most of the moguls that I have skied during 3 years were opportunities rather than problems. Because the vision, the dream, the projection of myself was very in something really, really exciting. Why that? Why is it more exciting? Just because when you are in the start of the Olympic Games, you will face at the final of the Olympic Games. It's a final, so we are just 16 skiers in the gates, and we wait to ski one by one. You're there, you have a slope. The slope is 300 meters long, 100 meters wide. You have 65 turns to do, only 65 turns, 2 jumps. It will last for 30 seconds, maybe a little bit more, 31.23 for me. It will last a little more than 30 seconds, but you don't know that yet. You are in the gates with 16 guys who are very well trained, really strong, the best skiers in the world. All of us, to be there, we did the same amount of job. We trained 2,400 hours a year. That was the job, to be able to be in the gates. All of us, since 10 years, we did approximately 1,300,000 turns. So that's why I say just 65, bullshit. Piece of shit. Just 65. You see, 1,300,000 turns to be ready, 65 to transform. Easy, no? It's just, you see where you win or not. All of us, we did approximately the same amount of job, the same amount of turns, the same amount of hours. We all do that. So the question could be, but where's the difference? So, is it just the 7 judges down the slope who give rates, points, that define where is the difference? I prefer to say no, because I need to control a little bit the competition. I don't control the result, but I need to control the competition. Now, the thing is that if I just take the 3 years prior to the games, I really observe my opponents. And what I could say is that the best of them, really the best skiers, were improving, were progressing, were questioning themselves every 100 turns. And that's why they were the best. Because every day, during years, they were working with people, training coaches, trainers, mental coaches, physical coaches, technical coaches, and all of them, the best of them, were questioning themselves in order to progress every 100 turns. That was the way they were creating value from what they were doing, by questioning themselves, by facing their doubts and finding new solutions in order to doubt a little bit less and improve a little bit more, in order to do a little less efforts to have a little bit more results, positive results. They were always finding solutions in order to be performant. And that the way they were performing was always to find solutions, to create, to innovate, to be able to do more with less. That was the best skiers. So if we take, let's count now, if we take 1,300,000 turns and you divide it by 100, you will find 13,000, all right? 13,000, this is the amount of steps that bring them to the starting gates of the Olympic Games. Because one step is one improvement, is a progress towards the games. For me, I had not more time, nor I could not have more turns than they do. The only thing that I had for me in order to work every day to be better than those fantastic skiers was just to question myself a bit more often than what they were doing every day. And I did it every 65 turns. 65 turns. Every time I had the opportunity to talk with a coach, with a trainee, with someone who was there helping us to improve on the skis, on the physical technique, etc. I took this opportunity to talk with them and to ask myself, how can I do a little bit better with a little less energy, for example? In order to find solutions. I didn't find the best solutions. I've never found the best or the smartest solution, but I found more solution because I re-questioned myself. I faced my doubts a bit more often than my strongest opponents. So let's divide. Let's divide 1,300,000 by 65, and you will find 20,000. 20,000 was the stairway to my start at the Olympic Games. That's a big difference with the strongest skiers. It's a difference of 7,000 steps. And we all ski. The guy who finished at the second place at the Olympic Games is a Frenchman. We arrived, both of us, at the same age, 16 years old, in the French ski team. We were training in the same conditions, same ski resort, same snow, same coaches. We even had the same sponsors, except the goggles. But we really had the same things, and I beat him by 0.8 points. 0.8 on a score of 25 or 27 points. So it's very tiny, a very tiny difference. But the real question is, okay, if 0.8 points equal 7,000 steps, what is one step? What is one step? One step is a very small innovation. That's the answer. It's an innovation in a detail of the detail. And if I won that competition, it was not because I was a better skier. It was not because I had more means. It was not because I had more talent, more chance than my opponents. It was just that I tried to find innovation into details, and I did it as many times as I could do it. And that makes the difference at the end. And I would say that this is innovation. Speaking innovation, just to say one thing, and this will be my conclusion. Innovation, it's not a gift. It's a state of mind. It's just a way of finding a new solution that helps you to do a bit more with a bit less. And this brings you on the path of performance. It was what's really inspiring for me about innovation is that anybody can do that. Anybody. Anybody can improve. Anybody can question himself about how I'm going to do a bit better with a bit less of energy. How can I do a little bit more with less? Anybody can do that. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Edgar. I'm sure there are a couple of questions, so we'll take a couple of minutes to answer your questions. I have one question.
Yeah.
What do you mean precisely with innovation in the detail of the detail? Can you give us an example?
Oh yeah, but there are so many examples. Every time I end up like a training course, a run, I was facing my coach, and he always asked me almost the same 2 questions. The first one was, what do you think you do good? What do you think you do good? And it was quite surprising at the beginning, because I thought that his job was to ask me what was bad, what was not good. Because I thought at the beginning that I first had to improve on what was not good, on the fails, not on what was good, on the strength. So the first thing was that he was focusing the demand on the strength rather than focusing the demand on the weaknesses. So that was the first question. I always answer. I thought that I skip quite fast, very fast. Show me the chrono and tell me the time. And okay, the second thing was that, what do you think you should improve? And I say, I make mistakes on my technique. So shall I go up again? And he told me, yes, but what will you do? Will you just improve, trying to improve on your mistakes? I say, yeah, for sure, because it's where I lose points. And he told me, it's not what I would like for you. I say, what do you want? And he told me, I want you to ski even faster. Don't think about the mistakes. I say, yeah, but if I ski faster, I will make bigger mistakes. And I say, that's my job. I want you to ski faster. And I say, okay, so what do you have a goal? And he told me, you ski in 32 seconds. I want you to ski in 30 seconds. 2 seconds, wow, that's a challenge. Okay, I'll try. Then go up. It took me a week to be able to ski this slope in 30 seconds. But once I skied in 30 seconds, I was so happy. I told him, what about the mistakes? He told me, you ski so fast, we don't see them anymore. That was a good improvement.
Even the camera au ralenti wouldn't see the mistakes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Question, come on guys. Then he's gonna leave and you're gonna cry. So, questions? No? Well, yes,
Yeah.
I'm coming to you. Here, hold on.
Just one question. How do you manage the weather condition and the stress?
That's a good question. So that's 2 different questions. The weather condition and the stress. It's exactly not the same thing. You see, you cannot manage the weather condition, but you can manage your stress towards the weather condition. When it's sunny for everyone.
Is it easier when it's sunny?
And when it's cloudy, it's sunny for me. No, that was, how did I manage that? I want to answer to that question because it was exactly what I said the morning of the Olympic Games, morning of the competition. We were in a hotel in Tignes, in a ski resort where the competition was held. And we had a big window like that, big window on the lake and the mountains of Tignes. It was just beautiful, except that this morning, the morning of the competition, it was very foggy and we didn't even be able to see like further than 100 meters. And like you are here, all the staff and the skiers of the French ski team and some VIPs were there eating breakfast. And I came in a room I looked at the window, and in front of everybody, I say, what a great day to be Olympic champion. That was hard to deal for my opponents. Because it's always a great day to be Olympic champion. And as I told you, I had that in mind since the beginning. This, maybe you can find that arrogant, but when you work every day, you take everyday decisions. Those decisions will leads to actions, behaviors. Those actions and behaviors produce results. But when you take everyday decision like an Olympic champion, it's not arrogant anymore, because you are in the skin of the winner. You think, you act, and you progress like a winner. You're not the winner yet, but it's like the turns. You don't win the competition with 65 turns the day of the competition. You win the competition because during 1,300,000 turns, you do each one of them with the intensity, with the level of demand of an Olympic champion. And that creates then the future. Then the future happens to be true. And that's the fantastic thing. So that's why I really believe now that there is absolutely no risk by projecting ourselves into the world we dream.
That's beautiful. Is there one last question? Yes.
Thank you, Edgar. I have one last question. You spoke about your performance, how you was training your technical aspects, technical skills, mental aspect, and so on. What was your let's say, your approach for the hardware? I mean, the ski, because they are part of the performance. So when you are getting this kind of objective, you need to take everything into account. So I think they are part of the details. And what's your approach on that?
Yeah, definitely. They are really, really part of the details. I always choose not the best skis. I always choose the best technicians, because the best technicians are able to bring the skis much further than... And I found at that time, I was at skiing with Dynastar, those kind of, this ski brand. And I found with those guys, fantastic technicians, fantastic developers. Those guys, they were really, really listening about my comments, and they were able to react with a fantastic velocity to my needs. And that is why I choose Dynastar at the beginning for as skis. I had the choice between Dynastar, French brand, and Head, which is an Austrian brand. And I choose Dynastar not just because it's a French brand, but first because the company was based 60 kilometers from where I lived. So it was much easier for me to go there, to talk with the technicians, and to be able to make improvement on my material.
And vous êtes l'homme qui murmurait à l'oreille des skis aussi, c'est ça, des spatules. And by the way, those skis are to win this afternoon. So maybe Patrice, you can come and tell us how can we be eligible to win those skis?
Okay, first of all, thanks a lot, Edgar, because being passionate of sport and mountain, so it could be it couldn't be more fortunate for me to have you here. So thanks a lot. So of course, I cannot escape a selfie because many people did a selfie with you, but it won't be a classical selfie. It will be Edgar, I, and all of you. Okay, so to be the best group selfie. So please, all who are here, please come here to fill in the alley, because I want everybody here in a selfie. Come on, in a sportive way. Run, run, run. Come on. Are there some rolling chair? No? Okay.
So you know, fun is one of the Capgemini values. Yes. Okay? So please stand up. I will count up to 3, and at 3 you will shout and be crazy. Okay? Yes. Second chance. 1, 2, 3. That's much better. Thanks a lot.
Okay. So I brought some of my material. So first of all, Edgar, you will sign this. And so perhaps it will be this pair of skis to win. So for those who are more than 40, perhaps you remember these colors, degré set, you know, purple, green, yellow. It was wonderful skis. Oops. Or perhaps it will be some of this, a bit lighter. Oops, if I kill the ISC, I won't have a friend here, too tall for me, Arnaud. So to win, very easy. You remember there is an app. Where is the app? So you download the CWIN app. There are some feedback forms. So you just fill in the forms. You are not obliged to put 5 out of 5 to all the things. And then we'll do a sort at the end of the day between all of you who have been download the app and do some feedback. We'll do a sort, and one of you will win these keys or these keys. You will see. So I encourage you to download this, and in a couple of hours, we'll see who will win this. Thanks a lot, and merci Edgar, vraiment.
Thank you very much. Big round of applause. Merci.